This is the Laughlin Town Advisory Board, Laughlin Regional Government Center, 101 Civic Way, Laughlin, Nevada, 89029, June 13th, 2023, 1:30. Items on the agenda may be taken out of order. The board may combine two or more agenda items for consideration. The board may remove an item from the agenda or delay discussion relating to an item at any time. No action may be taken on any matter not listed on the posted agenda. All planning and zoning matters heard at this meeting are forwarded to the Board of County Commissioners, Zoning Commission, BCC, or the Clark County Planning Commission, PC, for final action. Please turn off or mute all cell phones and other electronic devices. Please take all private conversations outside the room. With a 48-hour advance, a sign language interpreter or other personal efforts to assist and accommodate persons with physical disabilities may be made available by calling 702-455-3530 TDD or 702-385-7486 or Relay Nevada toll free 800-326-6868. Supporting material provided to the board for the meeting may be requested from Tammy Harris at 702-298-0628. Supporting material will be available at the Clark County Department of Administrative Services, 500 South Grand Central Parkway, 6th floor, Las Vegas, Nevada. Supporting material will be available on the county website at https://clarkcountynevada.gov/Laughlin-TAB. I'll go ahead and do roll call at this time. Kathleen Haas is not available. Pamela Walker, I am here. Fred Doughton. Here. Kathy Oakes. Here. Herman Walker, no relation. Here. Secretary Tammy Harris, 702-298-0828, or Tammy.Harris at clarkcountynevada.gov. Or Mark Moskowitz, 702-298-0828, 702-455-6173, or Mark.Moskowitz, Moskowitz, at clarkcounty.nevada.gov. So at this time, I'll call for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Fred, you can lead us in that. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you'd remain standing, Father Charlie.
This week, our nation will celebrate a beautiful and patriotic national holiday. On June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress approved a design for our American flag. 13 alternating red and white stripes and a field of blue with white stars. The 13 white stars, 13 red and white alternating stripes. They represent the 13 original colonies. Over the years, the stripes have remained the same, but the flag has added an additional star for each new state added to the Union. Our present flag has been the longest one in service in our history, since 1960, with the addition of Hawaii as our 50th state. We've had a 50-star flag. The American flag, Old Glory, the red, white, and blue, the Star-Spangled Banner, the grand old flag. We have so many names for it. Forever in peace may it wave. It's the emblem of the land we love. It's the home of the free and the brave. Since 1916, President Woodrow Wilson signed June 14th into law as a national holiday honoring that flag. May God bless us as we gather here in Laughlin. May God bless America as we honor our flag this week. Amen.
Amen. Be seated. Public comment. This is a period devoted to comments by the general public about items on this agenda. No discussion, action, or vote may be taken on the agenda item. You will be afforded the opportunity to speak on individual public hearing items at the time they are presented. If you wish to speak to the board about items within its jurisdiction, but not appearing on the agenda, you must wait until the comments by the general public period listed at the end of this agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium, if applicable, clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or the board by majority of vote.
Jackie Wallen, W-A-L-L-I-N, representing Chamber and Tourism. I'd like to respectfully request that I be moved to the top of the report list. I have a conflicting meeting that just came up, and I'd like to see if I could get out of here before that.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any conflict with that? Okay, I need a motion for approval of the minutes for May 9th, 2023. Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Approval of the agenda for today, June 13th.
So move.
Thank you, Fred. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Receive a report and update from South County Liaison Mark Moskowitz regarding updates on the Laughlin Residential Road Rehabilitation Project, Nevada Legal Services office hours, Memorial Day ceremonies, and the updates from the Clark County.
Thank you so much. Just some quick updates. The Laughlin Residential Road Rehabilitation Project has been kicked off for about 2 months. It's going along really well. The contractor, Las Vegas Paving, is doing a really good job notifying neighbors. But as always, please contact our office if you have any questions or want to know anything. I think they're doing a really good job. I've driven through some of the areas. It looks like it's coming along. More paving should be coming on in the next few weeks. So just be aware of that. But please let us know, and also let your neighbors know as well if you see anything that, maybe they don't move a car or something, let them know, because that'll help keep the project moving along. So I'm very excited for that. Second thing is I just want to remind everyone we've got our Nevada Legal Services comes down here once a month. It's the first Wednesday of every month. Coming up, it'll be July 5th, August 2nd, September 6th, October 4th, November 1st, and December 6th. And it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a free service. It's Commissioner Naft and Clark County. We're really pushing to bring more services remotely down here, which we've been doing for several years. So please remember that that's a great resource. They do require pre-registration. The reason for that is just so that they can actually have a chance to maybe review some of your information, which makes it easier for yourself. So they'll kind of create a case, and then they can let you know, bring these documents and all that. So it's not once a month you get more information. You can also always call them if you have any questions or anything, and they're more than happy to help. So that's a great resource, and we have some flyers in the back as well. I'd like to thank Kathleen Haas as well as Pam Walker for inviting Commissioner Naft and myself to the Memorial Day ceremonies in Laughlin at the Avenue of the Flags. It was a very meaningful service and ceremony. It was very well done. I thank you so much for letting Commissioner Naft speak at it as well and acknowledging us. It was so great to see so many people in the community. It's a really nice day to remember and to thank everyone that served in our armed forces and services. So that was a really good day. Commissioner Naft and I actually started in Searchlight with a service as well at the Searchlight Cemetery. And then we headed down here and were able to attend the one at the Avenue of Flags and then went to the barbecue. So I just would like to thank you, Pam, so much for including us and letting us be a part of it. We're very, very grateful. So thank you. And then last thing is we have the new newsletters in the back from Commissioner Knapp. So that has a lot of great information. As always, please contact our office if you'd like to be added to the email distribution list or if you just have any questions about it. So. And with that, that is all. Oh, and one last thing, I almost forgot. So I want to thank Victor Woodall with Channel 4, Clark County TV. As you notice, there's new microphones, there's new cameras. I know it's been a big push to have this room updated with audio-visual. As you can see, we're now in HD. We look a lot clearer. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but no, I'm kidding. But I just want to thank Victor and his team. They've worked tirelessly. There's a lot of issues that were out of their control, which is getting parts and all that. But Victor and I talked weekly, if not daily. So we're very excited for this to come down to Laughlin, to be installed. Victor and his team, they're back there. They've done such a great job. So I just want to thank him and Public Information and Communication Office for all their help as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question I want to ask Mark. Mark, what, if anything, is being done about the Southern Nevada Water Authority and its dictate for no issuance of permits?
So that one, we'll probably touch on that one when we do the update from the Big Bend Water District. That'll probably be the best time to discuss that, and I'll have some updates at that point.
Okay.
That's what you're referencing, correct?
Yeah, on the suspension of issuance of permits.
Yes.
For construction in the town of Laughlin.
Yep, I'll have more information during that period of the agenda. So,
okay. So
yep.
We'll talk about that today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, at this time I'll move Jackie to the next report so she can get out there.
Thank you. Whoa. Thank you for allowing me to speak early. You get kind of confused here. Okay. I'm Jackie Wallen, Wallin, representing the Laughlin Chamber of Commerce at this time. We are still giving away $500 gift certificates for radio advertising with new members. The ribbon cuttings, we just did one in Needles at the Tri-State Community Healthcare. They're in all 3 states. The new one in Needles is kind of state-of-the-art health center. It's going to be doing health, all testing, and it also has a dental facility inside of it. They took one of the old buildings and refurbished it right across Needles Highway from the pizza parlor. It is probably the nicest medical facility I've seen in a long time. And the progress in obtaining providers has been really positive. So I'm hoping that all of our underinsured or non-insured residents will be able to take advantage of that. It's all federally financed. So when you go there, if you don't have insurance, it's taken care of. So you just have to go there and sign up and get what you need. The next ribbon cutting is on July 10th. It's a big thing coming here. Pink Box Donuts is also the owner of Bagel Mania. Although Bagel Mania won't be coming in, Pink Box Donuts is. And they are very famous for the amount of variety. It's more than 31 flavors at Baskin Robbins. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But they will be opening inside the Edgewater on July 1st. We don't have any mixers planned at this time in the Nevada, but we do have Network and Education coming up on June 30th. That's going to be from Dave Heath, who is our superintendent for Parks and Recreation in the Bullhead City side, and he's going to give us an update on all the improvements at all the parks on that side of the river so that we'll understand where all of the tournaments are going and where they're playing and how they're taking care of our summer visitors. Pink Box, where am I going? And then Pink Box Donuts is going to talk about branding and their methods of branding and how they help our community on July 28th. Both of those are going to be at the Laughlin Chamber. The Laughlin Chamber events that are coming up will be the Tri-State Mega Mixer. That's where we invite all chambers and tourism offices to come and visit us within 350 miles, and we have a big, huge event inside the Aquarius Pavilion. We do it on a Friday instead of a Thursday so that those people can have opportunity to stay overnight if they travel far and enjoy our area on a weekend. That's on August 25th. The Community Achievement Awards is coming up again. Nominations are open today. You can go right at laughlinchamber.com, go to events, and go to CAAs and do your nomination for any category that you want. And we encourage you to get those in soon. It's only a 5-minute process because we do all the work. You nominate, we go to the nominee and ask for their biographical information, get their pictures, get all their backup information so we can put it in a binder for the judge. The sooner you give us a nomination, the more time we have to provide that information to the judges. I am also looking for anybody that's interested in being a judge on the judging panel. It's a very diverse panel. We do diverse ages, diverse socioeconomic statuses. We do different kinds of industries from teachers to bankers. And we make sure that it's very diverse so that all segments of our community are representative and they have a voice on who wins. Our members are now at 306. We have dropped 20 in the last 15 to 20 days for lack of payment. We did let them go pretty much all the way through COVID as a good business supporter. Some of them came back saying they can't afford it or they've dropped their business, and most recently some of them just can't support the membership no matter what kind of payment plan we give them. Half of the ones we've dropped in the last 20 days have been because their business has closed. So we have gone down a little bit, and that's because we're trying to keep the books clean and keep everybody honest. Laughlin is still at 31%, and our new members this quarter are 5. I want to tell you that on July 10th, we are hosting the Tri-State Chamber Alliance Conference here. We're looking for a place to have it over at one of the resorts or elsewhere. There will be probably about 50 to 75 people coming from all of the Tri-State Chambers. It's not a party, it's a meeting. And we talk about trends, tourism, gateways, chamber memberships, what better services we can provide. It's a great conference, and that's happening on July 10th. I just don't have a place for that yet. While I'm on Chamber, and because I'm affiliated with so many other different things, I want to tell you that this weekend we celebrated acceptance to the River Fund of another $21,000 from the Bullhead River Run for the Men of Fire Veterans Ride. Chef's Food Fest that we just finished, we gave another $28,900 from the Chamber to the River Fund. And the duck race in April, we were able to net that with $30,000. So far in this last 6 months, we've been able to raise a little bit over $40,000 and a half, something like that, in money for the River Fund just by doing some fundraisers and getting the community together to help with that. So most of our funds for River Fund are now funded, where we can start using the unrestricted funds from Chef's Food Fest. We can keep those still. We were having to borrow from the unrestricted fund to take care of some of our clients, but now we're doing really, really good. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that River Fund was being funded pretty fast in the last 6 months to get it back from COVID. I'll stand for any questions if you have any regarding Chamber.
Any questions?
No? Okay. So we're moving on to Laughlin Tourism Commission. Laughlin Tourism Commission, right now we have scheduled Rockets Over the River. The permits are final, and it's coming July 4th, 9 o'clock. It'll be shot off from the Arizona parcel owned by the Laughlins and shot up over the river again. Straight up 9 o'clock, choreographed to music on KISS FM or Murphy Broadcasting. This year we are also doing Wish You Were Here and Messages to the Sky, or Rockets to the Sky. So if you have somebody that you've lost in the last year or somebody that you're praying for and you want to send a message to the stars, you just have to go on our website or on our Facebook page and find the link, and you can give us a story about who you want to send a message to and what you want to say, and we get it put on one of the shells before it's shot or dropped into the sand cannon and shot. Everybody who sends in one and is approved to be put on there, you will be noted with the exact minute, second, and the description of the firework that's going up in your cannon and on your shell. So it's a very, very fun time to celebrate someone we've lost. So I put little things back there if you want to talk about somebody wish you were here program. The one fishing tournament, this is the 41st U.S. Open. We were able to provide some assistance to one fishing tournaments. Lake needs low waters, and we had the 40th here last year on Lake Mojave. This year is the 41st annual, and it is the U.S. Open. In fact, they actually come from out of the U.S., so we do have some international fishermen that come here during that time. We are expecting about 220 vessels or 440 anglers during that week, and it's always during the week. So they come and fish Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they get out of here for the weekend before everybody comes. But they do come a week in advance to start practicing. So you'll see a lot of bass boats running around. We are announcing the 2024 Laughlin Bullhead Air Show. It is now official on April 6th. We will be doing an air show, and that is because Nellis Air Force Base will not be able to do theirs in 2024 due to a mission that's scheduled that same month that they have to go on, and we do want our Department of Defense where they're supposed to be. So on April 6th, we will be having that show. But this year, we are getting more grant dollars, and we are going to have a STEM project on Friday, which if you look at the report, it's going to, we have speakers and static displays and interactive stops from NASA, SpaceX, air traffic control, commercial and private pilots, the armed forces, and aviation history and sciences. So we actually have a replica of the Wright brothers plane coming so that they can see what the first science of air flight was. So we're really excited about that because all of our local students will be exposed. They'll be bused there on Friday and have a really good day. Townwide concerts that are scheduled right now by the Laughlin Tourism Commission are Sam Hunt on September 23rd and REO and Styx on September 30th. The other three concerts we're sponsoring have not been named at this time. And you will notice at the bottom of the membership, Gail McCarthy has been added. She is our new local representative for the Laughlin River Lodge who rejoined. And that's all I have. I'll stand for any questions for tourism.
Do you have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, receive a report from Lieutenant Rogers with Metro Police regarding activity and statistics during the past month and other area crime concerns.
We got two microphones here today. Lieutenant Rogers with Metro, thanks for having me. I'll go over our stats for last month, and then I can touch on past community events and things that we have planned for the future here. So for the month of May 2023, we responded to 277 calls for service. That's significantly down from last year. I think last year we saw an increase due to everyone coming out of COVID and maybe not everybody behaving like we'd like to see them. But this year I think we've kind of mellowed out a little bit. So things have been pretty good for us. We wrote 353 traffic citations here in the Laughlin Township. Only one DUI, 4 arrests for battery domestic violence as an adult suspect. Our Tucker holding facility took in 24 arrests, and one of those was a juvenile arrest. We responded to 3 calls for service at the high school, and we're just noting that calls at the high school because we're still pushing to have a full-time school police officer there, so we just want to make sure we're very transparent of how busy we are there at the high school, that it doesn't go unnoticed. Other than that, things are pretty much status quo at the casinos. Last week, we did our monthly Coffee with the Cop at Vista Creek Apartments. Mark was able to come out and show some support. The numbers weren't a lot, but we think as we do it every month, that we'll continue to get more and more of the community involved. I just want to advertise for next month's Coffee with a Cop is actually going to be called Snow Cone with a Cop. We're doing it at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, July 11th, so it'll actually be the same day as the town board, just at 5 p.m. And just want to thank Father Charlie for hosting it at the church. It seems like that's a good venue. We get a good turnout. It's just a good place to be, lots of parking, and he does have that nice multi-purpose room is what the best way to put it. So we don't, if it's super hot, we don't have to be outside, but with the snow cone, we hope we can keep everyone cool. And it's our first event after hours, or instead of doing it during the days, we're hoping to get a good turnout from the community for those that have to work and that aren't able to make our middle of the day events. And that's pretty much it. And Jackie already touched on Rockets Over the River, so we'll have a few officers out here staffing that because it's usually a pretty good show, and a lot of people come to town, so we'll be busy that night. But that's all I have for today. If anyone has any questions.
Any questions?
Okay, sounds good. Mark? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you guys later.
Receive a report from Clark County Fire Department regarding calls for service during the past month and other fire prevention issues.
Hello, Captain Paul Gutierrez. It's my first time, so forgive me if I don't include everything that you need. But for the month of May, it looks like we had 43 EMS calls, 4 fire calls, and 7 fall into the category other. For the month of May, we had a total of 161 for Fire Station 76, 82 calls for Fire Station 85, and totality 243, which is down 19% compared to last year. For the year-to-date ending May 31st, we're down 6.8% calls from 1,381 to 1,287. That's all I have for statistics. Did you have anything particular you want to discuss or questions?
Anyone else?
No?
We're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Receive a report from Will Smith with Clark County Water Reclamation District regarding the status of the wastewater system. And I don't see him here. Jason, is Jason here? I don't see him either.
So yeah, if you want to read number 5, and then I'll speak on it.
Okay, so I'll read the Clark County what?
So we're doing number 5 now, right? For Jason Bailey with Big
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So as you said, there's a report in the back with all the information.
Right.
I want to touch on Commissioner Naft in Clark County, as well as our office down here. We're all one team together. On Wednesday, July 12th at 2:30 p.m. in this room, the Laughlin Government Center, there will be a public information meeting with the Big Bend Water District and a lot of their team that including Jason Bailey. So they will all be here to be able to kind of give some information. This is a big push from Commissioner I know we've had discussions in previous meetings, kind of to give like updates, information, answer questions of what's going on with the water district. So I want to let everyone know, unfortunately they're not here today, but that's been scheduled. So that'll be Wednesday, July 12th at 2:30 in this room. So just want to let everyone know that. And if you have any questions, contact our office. We can work with contacting the Big Bend Water District. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to do an information session. So we look forward to seeing everyone there. 2:30 p.m., yes. So Big Bend Water District is a part of Las Vegas Valley Water District. So they're all one. So there's Big Bend Water District is the one that serves Laughlin. They will be here, but it will have their team as well as a team from the Las Vegas Valley Water District. So, but as for Laughlin, everyone gets their service from Big Bend Water District. So, yep.
My earlier inquiry involved the edict issued by Southern Nevada Water Authority, which suspended construction permits for Laughlin Township.
So
has anything been done to address that issue?
I believe, I don't want to speak for them, but on this, I believe all of those discussions that everyone's been having on what can and cannot be done, what our storage is, what our current capabilities are, how our system is currently running, those will all be addressed and discussed during that meeting. So as for something being not permanent, I would always say contact our office or contact Southern Nevada Water Authority if you get something that says no, and we'd always be more than happy to look into it. That's the best answer I can say for that, unless we can talk further if there's an example of anything.
Well, I want to express my distress. I have had any number of individuals since the last meeting contact me wanting to know what was done, how it was done, where it was done, how long is it going to last, and I have no information.
Right, and
the thing that really distresses me is the fact that this permitting process, excuse the indelicacy of my language, but that authority literally castrated Laughlin. They absolutely neutered Laughlin in terms of any construction which is to take place in this township. And I don't think that July 12th represents any urgency on behalf of the higher authorities to give this the attention it deserves. You know, we have money floating from all different areas. I've had two reports, one of which is that the tank storage of water for the community of Laughlin is not being fully used at the present time. Yet the authority said you don't have adequate authority, or you don't have adequate storage to service the area. So we're not going to issue any permits. Well, if we've got surplus storage that isn't being utilized, then something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. The other thing is, I would like to know how any political subdivision of county government can unilaterally come out and issue this kind of an edict, which has all sorts of adverse economic implications for the township of Laughlin. It never came before this board. Never came before this board. Which leads me to say, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? We're supposed to be representing the people of Laughlin. Did the representative body ever be presented with the fact that there was going to be an edict barring development and barring the issuance of permits? Not in this body. I've talked to every member of this group, and no one sitting on the advisory board has ever told me that they were consulted about this edict that came down from the authority. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. The final thing I would like to say is, I would like to know the authority, the legal authority, under which they took such egregious action. I don't think it exists. And if it exists, I would question its constitutionality. That's all I have. But I'll tell you what, this needs attention.
Sure. So I can follow up. I appreciate your comments, Herb. As for the date, we've been working with the Big Bend Water District, Las Vegas Valley Water District, to find a date where they can have a lot of their executives and top team come down here. That's why it seems like it's far out. However, I believe it's been moved very quickly. In regards to the previous meeting, I can let you know that Commissioner Knapp, myself, and high members of the Las Vegas Valley Water District had a Teams Zoom call with Carrie Larson and Gary Isaac to discuss their concerns. So we are being very proactive. I would disagree with us saying we're not. As for saying that everything's been capped, I would say let's be delicate with that and take it as a case by case, because sometimes a major development, and I'm not going to speak for Water District, could require more water than, say, a single family home. So That's all stuff that we're going to be evaluating during this public information session. I think this is a good start. I'm disappointed that
Which is the 12th of next month, right?
12th of next month, yes. And that was the earliest we could get with schedules and people having conferences or vacations. So it took a lot of work to get everyone mobilized. I apologize it's not as soon as you would like. However, I know we can continue to contact Jason Bailey. There's also Katie Horn with the Water District. If you have those pressing questions now, you're more than welcome to reach out to them. They're more than welcome to answer them. I'm not comfortable speaking on their behalf, but I know they are aware of everything that's going on, and they're looking into it, and they want to provide answers. And we're all, Clark County and the Water District, we want to make sure we're being, we want to be able to have this information session for the community of Laughlin. So this is the course of action we're taking right now, but by no means it doesn't mean you can't call our office and we can get you in contact with the correct agencies. As we always say, I know we're in a rural, we're in a different area. If you get something that seems different or you get a response that you don't feel comfortable with, please contact our office. Please contact us. We'll be able to find those correct people to speak to. We don't want anyone to feel like, now I'm not saying that we can change anything, but I want to say that we can look into it, which I believe we're doing. And I'll take your comments today. I will speak with the Water District. They'll be aware of them, and we'll be able to provide some information. So.
Well, for me, and I've had a number of people come to me as well, who ultimately made the decision?
That I don't know the answer to, and I'm not confident in saying anything. I believe we will look into it. I don't have an answer for you on that, and I'll be completely honest with you on that.
'Cause nobody can find out.
My concern is I've been involved with the water since Big Bend was turned over to Las Vegas Valley, and there has never been a comment made at any meeting where they said we had a shortage of water or a shortage of storage space. We've got 15,000 acre feet. We use about 4,000 to 5,000, so we got plenty of water. And if we have a storage issue, it should have been addressed years ago.
Anyone else? Turn on your mic. Thank you.
I knew I would do this. So I don't have anything to add to that. Again, historically, 22 years on this board, that hasn't come before us. Additionally, I believe Herm also sat on, and possibly Fred, when we did the rate increase and allowed that rate increase to go through for the Water District, for their capital improvements and things like that. That wasn't brought up at that time either. But most of the things have been covered. The issue as far as the storage, it creates pressure in the system. So the acre feet that we have isn't the issue. It's the storage creating pressure so that we can make the water, service commercial or residential. And at this point, they're saying we don't have enough storage to even do residential. So, like I said, that meeting on the 12th, I'd be interested to know what will serve letters have been issued and what projects, what they anticipate, and across all zones, all pressure zones, because it's not just necessarily where the Isaacs want to be. It's across all pressure zones that we know of.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Parks and Rec. I don't see anyone. There's information in the back about Parks and Recreation, and they've got quite a few programs available, so please check those. Okay. Tanya Brownworth, I do not see her here from the library. Okay, announcements of upcoming neighborhood meetings and county or community meetings and events. And
I would say there is one I want to mention. It's in collaboration with the Spirit Mountain Activity Center and the Parks and Rec. There will be a movie in the park and that is going to be June 17th. It'll start at 8 p.m. We're really excited to be able to provide funding and work with Spirit Man Activity Center. So please make sure to check out this package. There's a lot of good programs going on. So yeah,
Great. Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
You must still be turned off.
You need to turn your mic back on. Thanks.
I just noticed that they're going to be renting out the facility for events and stuff. And I think that's new. I don't recall that in the past.
I would double check with them, but yeah, it sounds like they're being able to utilize the space more.
I was just thinking about the meeting that the chamber was going to have on, I think it was sometime in July, where she has all those people coming. Might be something to mention to her.
Perfect. Will do. Thank you.
Okay. All right, planning and zoning. WS-23-0202, Smalley, Mitchell, Dane, and Prentice, Donna Marie, waiver of development standards to reduce the building separation in conjunction with an existing single-family resident on .1 acres in an R-T manufactured home residential zone, generally located on the southwest corner of Calandus Street and Santos Way within Laughlin. And that says to the PC on 6/20/23. Is there someone to talk about it? There we go. Thank you.
We have complied with everything.
Can you move the microphone closer and tell us who you are and spell your name?
Okay, I'm sorry. My name is Mitchell Smalley, Smalley, owner of the house there at 3263 Kalanda. Now we've had, people say that it's too big, that there's electricity running to it. There's not. It's not too big. The problem is we've had code enforcement come out and they told us that there needs to be 5 foot between the house and the shed. Due to the retaining wall that homeowner association put up 10 feet onto our property, we can't get it the extra 2 feet away from the house. So we're asking for this waiver. It's 2 feet. So we're asking for this waiver. So we've already moved the shed once. Had a crane come in. It was too close to the property line. We had the crane come in and move it over to where behind the house. And now it's just 2 feet too close to the house. And so that we're asking for a waiver for that.
Madam Chair. So just help me to clarify this. So you had the shed in another location, and they did work on the perimeter wall of the division, and it was moved, or?
No. We had it built on the side of the house, right behind the carport.
Okay.
Okay.
According to the picture, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that was too close to the fence line from the neighbors. So when we moved it behind the house,
I see.
We can't get it far enough away from the house because of the retaining wall.
I see. Okay.
Any other questions? Oh, okay.
So
Thank
Pam,
you, sir.
do you want to close it and then open it to the public and let them know they'll have 3 minutes to speak? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. And please note, everyone will have 3 minutes to speak to make sure it's equal.
Okay, Ralph Perez, Perez. I'm the president of Monte del Sol Estates. Okay, Mr. Smalley here said that he's done everything he's supposed to do. Well, before this shed was built, We told him that shed was too big.
Gotta talk to them.
We told him that shed was too big. We told him that wasn't going to work out. There wasn't enough room. So he says the shed is not too big, but he's only 2 feet away from the wall. So the shed is too big. It's too high. It's an eyesore. He says there's no electricity. But if you all have the paper in front of you, okay, if you don't mind turning over 1, let me see, 2, 3, 5 pages in, you'll see the inside of the shed. You guys see that? You see the electricity? It's a bunch of wires laying in there. Okay, that's a fire hazard. I don't know what you call it. And if you all kind of look over, you'll see there's a light facing on the ground that's on. It'll probably burn the place down. Okay, so if anybody here has ever owned a mobile home or a manufactured home, you know what it is. It's kindling. You know, when one goes up, half the neighborhood goes up. Okay, the reason that there's a space between the houses and these sheds is in case something happens, that's a fire break in between. That's the 3 feet. You're supposed to have 6 feet from the property line over. Okay? When he put the shed in, I told him that he was putting it in the wrong place, and that's when he moved it. Okay? But bottom line, the thing is too big. Your setbacks are set, with NRS, they're setbacks. And if we're going to allow this gentleman here, okay, to change that, then I'm the guy that's going to get all the heat. Because everybody's going to come to me asking me to change all the rules, and I'm not the one that does that. There's rules for a reason. And he had more than ample notice of not putting that shed in there. It's an eyesore. It's 10 feet tall. He's the first house when you come around the corner in our association. Okay? The wall that he has up here, okay, we basically forced him to put it because of if you see all the stuff laying all over the place, that used to be on in everybody's view. It was a mess. So we basically had to force him to put up a fence so we didn't have to see that stuff. This gentleman has been an issue in our associations from day one. Okay? He thinks he can do whatever he wants. This is why we have an association. We have rules. We have to follow. Everybody has to follow. I would love to put a 10-foot shed next to my house. I got a lot of stuff I can put in there. I don't do it. I got rid of my hot rod because I couldn't work on my hot rod. We all make sacrifices. This thing here, it's not good. The people here from the association that are upset. That's why they're here. Okay? They don't want it either. It's an eyesore. Bring it down 8 feet. Bring it down to 8 feet. Okay? It's 10 feet now. Bring it down to 8 feet. Make it a little smaller so that it fits within the thing. No problem.
Your 3 minutes is up.
Okay. Thank you. Also, can I ask a question? You guys got all this new modern stuff here. Is there any way to patch in so we can watch you guys from our cell phones or our computers, tap into the meetings here? Yeah, that would be a great idea because a lot of people would like to see what's going on here. There's a lot of good stuff going on here, but yeah, I would think that would be kind of cool. You can tap in, you can see the meetings of my house or something.
Sure.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Dave Levine. I live in the community that...
Can you spell your last name, sir?
Levine, L-A, capital V as in Victor, I-N-E. David Levine. Okay. My comment on it is that I agree with everything that Ralph said. It's an eyesore for one thing. He was told not to put it there. He just did it anyway. But I have a question. We were sent a card, whether we approved of it or disapproved of it. Do you have the results from them cards?
Yeah, so I can speak on that. So planning sends out the cards, and then you probably mailed it back, right?
Right.
They will compile that stuff, and then they will share that during the planning commission, because they're still gathering all the cards, I believe. So it generally happens when they come kind of like right before or after the meeting, or so. This will be at the planning commission on 6/20. And there they'll be able to announce what cards were like for and against it. This is the first step in the process to have the Laughlin Town Advisory Board provide their...
So you haven't seen anything on these cards? Like you don't have any opinion?
No, sir, we don't.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about, because everybody that I talked to sent the card back in opposed this. And I just thought this board would be aware of it. But if you're not, I hope you don't make a decision today on this.
Anyone else? Okay, I need a motion to either approve or disapprove. Usually you have that after the motion. We need to have our motion and then we'll have discussion.
You discussion first, yeah.
Different than Robert's rules. Okay.
Any discussion amongst them?
Okay, any discussion?
Staff recommends, the staffing recommends denial. And one of the things that are in, initially the applicant's justifications state the shed's located on the rear yard and does not connect. I couldn't hear you either, so I'm hard of hearing too, I understand. So the applicant's justification states that the shed is on the rear yard and does not connect to any public utility services. It doesn't connect to utility services, but we've seen pictures that it does have electricity in it. So I don't know if that's done via extension cords or if those are hooked to a generator or what, because that wasn't claimed. So the issue is, again, if we approve it, anything that would come before us, again, is on a case-by-case basis. Anything would be a waiver and development standard. It would only be for this particular instance. If we deny it, then I think the applicant would have the ability to rebuild a different shed within the parameters of the code. Also, as part of the team that's working on the rewrite of Title 31, we are not addressing or not changing necessarily the setbacks in mobile home parks that I'm aware of. Perhaps that's a little bit, has already been established, but I don't think they're doing any changes on that. At least I don't recall in the meetings that we've had up to date. So just information to help us make our decisions.
Any other discussion? Okay, can I have a motion for or against?
No, there's a motion for, but I haven't heard a second.
He had a motion for, I'm sorry. I'm good.
Oh, he did. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Is there a second?
He has a motion to approve. Is that correct, Herm?
Yes.
Okay.
And there is no second.
Dead.
Second it.
Okay. All those in favor?
You had to vote on it.
So it looks like one for us to make a recommendation to the board. Yes, he did.
Hearn made the motion. Fred did a second, and all those in favor was I didn't hear. What was the vote?
So you're in favor? You raise your hand for in favor?
Yes. Okay, so 2.
And you? So it's 2.
2-4, and I'm not for approval.
I'm not for it either.
Yep. So it's 2-2. Nay. 2 nays, 2 yeas, and 2 nays. Mm-hmm. Okay. So basically, if we want to change the motion with stipulations or go forward it to the, it's going to the Planning Commission or Board, PCC, to the PC. So it's going to the PC with a split vote. So is that how we want to rule? Okay.
That's how it is. Well,
okay.
Go to the PC with a split vote.
So basically, the motion was made, it was seconded, but it was a tie. So it's not.
A motion was made for it to be approved. It was seconded, that was by Herm, seconded by Fred, and then we took the vote. Fred and Herm both voted for, Kathy and myself voted against. So it's a split vote that goes to the PC, correct? Planning Commission. That's correct, and it's always up to them. We do make recommendations, but the final decision is always theirs. They just take into account what we recommend.
They will, yes.
Dave Levine, LA, capital V as in Victor, INE. My comment is, we got them cards in the mail. We marked them, we sent them back. A majority of the people that live in our community that I went and talked to voted against this. What I'm asking is, will that board have these cards, and will that help to affect this decision?
Yes, they will have those
One
cards.
other comment. Do any of you live in that community? Okay, it's an eyesore. It's an eyesore. When you first come in, it's a terrible eyesore.
I understand that, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I need a justification from you and from Kathy Oakes as to why you denied.
I am going with the recommendations that were put out, stating that they had the burden of proof to establish that it was appropriate for this. It exceeds the parameters for height, and that it is potentially an issue and a negative impact. Let's face it, if something happens, a fire, there's always a safety implication on this as well, and that is why I've made my decision to not approve.
So it's obviously being utilized with electricity. How that electricity is in there, I don't know. But that, can be dangerous because that's an entirely wood building. The setbacks are not within code, and the height, it would all require a variance. So my reasoning behind is the current parameters that we have, those need to still be adhered to. And I think that would negate this whole issue. If the shed were shorter, smaller, the problem would go away. And the applicant can still do that at some point. In other words, if it is denied by the Planning Commission, the applicant can go and build a correct size shed at that same location.
Mr. Walker and Mr. Doughton, same question. Your justification for approval.
Fred, you or Herm need to provide your justification for approval.
I think that I don't think that it presents the problems that are outlined by the people. If the community was that much against it, certainly any significant percentage of the community isn't present here to present their objections.
Can you get closer to your microphone, please? It's on. It was on. You just needed to be closer to it. Thank you.
I think if the objections have the validity that is alleged by two objectors, and the community consists of approximately 80 sites or something of that nature, 86, that there would certainly be more impact presented to this board to justify refusing to let him continue to use this building.
Okay, Fred?
The only comments I will make is that until this came up, I've driven through there many, many times, and it just never was visible. That caused me to be concerned with the size. So.
All right, sorry, Ralph. The public comment is completed. If you'd like to discuss it more, yeah. Fred or Ralph. Ralph, we can't.
Gotta wait. Please sit down.
And then just let everyone know it'll be at the PC on June 20th if anyone would like to speak at it as well.
And you can go up there to Vegas and
yes,
go to that meeting. Everyone's welcome to go to those meetings.
Yes.
That's 500 South Grand Central Parkway, 6th floor, Las Vegas. Okay, no general business. Okay, now comments by the general public. A period devoted to comments by the general public about matters relevant to the board's jurisdiction will be held. No discussion, action, or vote may be taken on this agenda item. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium if applicable. Clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or the board by majority vote. Okay. Our next meeting is July 11th. Oh.
I'm gonna leave this on forever now. So I was just gonna ask if staff, is it possible that we could possibly get an update from the owners of the power plant? I mean, we were told some time ago that it was sold, and then we've also been contacted by the 8-Minute Energy as far as some of the batteries, looking into putting a battery into the switch, and I'm just wondering where that's at. They reached out to us on the chamber, letting us know of a possible another project, but it would involve that switch, and so I'm just wondering where things are at with the, with the plant, the power plant, the owners there, if it has been sold, if it hasn't, where are things at? Because we haven't heard from them for years that I know of. I think they came before us in a zoning thing. I tend to think it was before the pandemic. I could be wrong, but
yep, I can. Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide commentary back and forth just
right
on an agenda
but
item.
If we could look into that.
It. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Next meeting is July 11th. This room, 2023. Okay. I need a motion. Motion to adjourn. All right. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.